So last weekend, we didn't see Prow or Novikov on the ice. There any update on those guys?
Novikov was out sick, so he's fine. He's back with the team this week. Prow is out, lower body, probably 4 weeks or so.
Anything on Zach Metza too? Looked like he may have gotten shaken up.
Metza's out, lower body, 4 to 6.
So I'm going to start now on the negative side. Maybe a positive. Brendan Warren's been out for a little while. You mentioned a few weeks back he suffered a broken jaw. Has he been progressing in the right direction?
Brendan Warren is skating. The wiring is off, so now he's just banded. So now he can start eating and hydrating better and working out more. So he's doing more physical activity right now. He's skating without the team. He's lifting, things of that nature. Now it's about letting the jaw heal a little bit more, but also putting some strength and muscle back on him because, he's lost a decent amount of weight as you do when your jaw is wired shut.
You mentioned there, so a couple of D guys banged up. You did get one back, Joseph Ciccone, who missed about a month of action. What was it like to see him on the ice?
It's great to have Cheeks back. I thought, especially on Friday, our team defense was better this weekend. But especially Friday, he and Davies having that pair back it's just they work well off each other. There's a reason that they're good together. So it was nice to have them back.
How good of a pairing was that for you in the playoffs last year?
Yeah, Davies and Cheeks had the hardest of the hard matchups all playoff long, and they have good chemistry together. Cheeks is really good defensively, and he's rock solid and steady. And Davo wants to attack, and he wants to take time and space away, wants to jump in the rush, and so they feed well off each other, and they have good chemistry.
So Ciccone back, as we mentioned, a couple of guys out, though. I mean, that being said, what challenges does this put on your D-core? It felt like earlier in the year when we were talking about injuries, it was a lot more on offense. Now it's starting to hit the blue line a little more.
Yeah, I mean, just injuries happen. It's a contact sport. So, you never want your players to be out or injured, but, you don't worry about things you can't control. Guys, we have depth for a reason, and guys like Chris Jandrick had a really good game on Saturday. That was the best game he's played in the American League last year, this year. And so other guys have to fill into those responsibilities, and they have to take the ownership of those moments. These are, whether it's a guy that's always here or Jandrick's case was called up from Jacksonville, these are sometimes good moments in their career to seize these opportunities, to take command of them, to show themselves and others that they're ready and should be here and should be big-time players in the American Hockey League.
Speaking of the AHL, it's often an unforgiving schedule, but you have only one game this week. Do you like seeing that on the schedule?
No. Don't really like it because you're going to pay the price somewhere else down the line. So, we have, you have 3 games in 2 weeks, and, there's a 5 and 7 later on, right? So, but I don't worry about it. The schedule's the schedule. I don't spend a lot of time worrying about the schedule or talking to the guys about the schedule. You got to play the schedule. And so my job is to get our guys the best prepared for the schedule.
You've said also recently that this is the time of year where you don't necessarily pay attention to standings too much because it's too early, but there is sort of a checkpoint. You hit the 1/4 mark in the season. Any just sort of assessment on where the team is?
Yeah, again, not worried about standings, worried about our team. That's my focus. I mean, you get down in the last 15, 20 games, and, you have to be cognizant of the situation. But this time of year, earlier in the year, the focus is solely on what do we have to do to make our team better? How do we practice the right way? What do we do? What are we doing well? What are we struggling with? So those are things that we focus on. We're doing mostly excellent things offensively, and we need to get better defensively. But our team defensive play, I don't look at it as D-zone coverage. I look at it as, we need to take more time and space away from our opponents. We need to play in the offensive zone more. We need to forecheck better and force more turnovers in the forecheck and the neutral zone. If you do that, you spend less time in the D zone. We did a better job of that this weekend, with the exception of taking too many penalties, which that was where most of Belleville's offense came from. 5-on-5, we really limited their scoring chances. They didn't get many A chances the whole weekend, 5-on-5. So we did a much better job defending this weekend.
So forgetting the standings, then I know earlier in the season you've referred to wanting your team to play to the identity of a puck hunting, forechecking team. How close to playing to the identity you want? How close are you guys to that on a consistent basis?
We still have a lot of work to do, but that's normal in early December, and it's also normal with the amount of transition in our roster that we've had, right? So we're closer than we were 10 games ago. We're more consistently a good forecheck team right now. We're forcing more turnovers, and we're a really good line rush team, and we have a lot of offensive weapons, and we play to our identity offensively very good. But the better you forecheck, the more line rushes you get, and that sounds like they don't connect, but they do, because you forecheck, you create turnovers, you stay in the O zone, you tire the other team out, then they are tired, and then they make neutral zone turnovers, or they have bad line changes, and then you get line rushes out of that. So you just have to be committed. It's hard to be a good forechecking team, especially when you have a lot of young forwards, but we're getting there. We're on our way towards it, but we're not all the way there yet.